Hello and welcome to Who's Next, the new show from the glorified jobbers. Every week, me and some of the other jobbers will be going through NXT, recapping what's happened, reviewing it, and discussing the future of sports entertainment. I'm Charlie, aka the Blue Meanie, and with me, James, aka King Kong Bundy. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's a long time in the making, this program. Long time in the making.
It is. It is. Backstage, it's been a long time making. We've even mentioned it, I think, twice on Jobbers or something. So, not to spoil it, but it's been a while. But we're here.
We are finally here. Woo.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. So, NXT, in general.
I think the problem they have is they rely on one superstar, move them up, and then we're like, we don't know what to do. And that's it.
Yeah, that's certainly been like, a problem recently.
Nakamura went. There's been a bit of a kind of we don't know what to do at the moment in time. For me,
it's been a problem for a while. Like it felt like when Finn left, there was that problem, and then, as you say, when Nakamura went, there was this weird where someone needed to be, but there was no one sort of properly there.
That they don't know like who to put against Bobby Roode. It doesn't make sense to me. Like 1 week it was Cassius Ohno, and now it's now it's the next people, and they're just like we don't know where to go.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they have the problem that you say. The inherent problem is the person who is at the top who's about to leave and go to Raw or SmackDown, and so they're constantly having to play this game where top to leave the brand, but they can leave at any second.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know the people were going to leave when they did, and there was this weird gap for a couple of weeks where what was going on, and it's happened almost every single time. But they've got a few big names now that are sort of that tier. We just have to see, I guess, which one they're going for. So the show opens up. When that Hideo Itami's first match back from injury is going to be tonight, and it's going to be against Kona Reeves, who is one of the few people who isn't an indie guy on the indies, but he's definitely a performance center guy. And then also an announcement for a women's battle royale. It's Asuka at NXT Takeover Chicago, because no one can beat Asuka, because Asuka is the best. I don't care what you say.
No, damn, you're right. You're right. She is the best.
I even own one of her t-shirts. That's how over I am on Asuka. I've got one of her t-shirts and everything. I flipping love her. She's brilliant. Fittingly, it's two UK guys. Killian Dane with Eric Young versus Danny Burch. It's fitting for a lot of reasons. Mainly because I kind of look slightly like a Killian Dane cosplayer. He has the long hair and beard combo, which I'm... what do you think of the match?
It was all right. It kind of, I knew where they were going to go with it. That was the problem. I didn't think that Danny had a chance. Kind of walked to the ring, and I was like, "No, this is going to be a simple walk in the park." I love Killian's finisher for a big guy. That's an awesome finisher because he's pretty flexible.
Yeah.
And very hairy. Like they did a close up on his back, and that was just insane.
Killian Dane is absolute life goals, man. Just hair everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, but it's hairy, but it's clumpy. It's like clumpy.
Clumpy. That's the most accurate way I've heard it described. It is super clumpy.
Yeah. It was great. It was a good match. It just was again like. There was just lots of adverts, so like matches are really short to fill in for these things. That's the only problem. I thought it could have gone on a little bit longer.
Those guys are super good. I mean, Dane, there is a reason why the Giant Battle Memorial. The Andre Member, I'm just calling it the Member. The Andre Member. There's a reason he was in it. I mean, he's super good. I've seen him live a few times, and I was surprised how quickly he got onto NXT TV, because usually they take a couple of months to get there. the WrestleMania card, which I was even more shocked by, but I love. And when you see him in this match, I mean, he basically has everything. Like, for a big guy, he's super agile and quick as well. His finisher, the Ulster Plantation, is, I mean, you can call it the Wandering Angel if you want, because obviously other people do it and whatnot, but it's really good. And as you say, it's not a typical either. You know, we see a typical big guy finisher in one of the later matches, but this one, it's a really nice move. And Birch, because I suspect he's going to be on the UK show that's coming up, long show, because he's really good. Even though he's never going to make it in WWE, as particularly he might have a run in NXT, but he'd never make it time in WWE, but he's really, really good. And if you watch him on UK indie shows, top dude. I love Danny Birch. But as you say, Killian Dane wins by pinfall.
Yeah.
Big dude, big things.
I didn't get why Eric Young was there.
Yeah,
like, he literally came to the ring. Like, normally he just kind of throws him to the ring and then he walks away. But he actually just stayed in the corner, and you're just like, he's going to do something. He's going to do something. Nope.
It was interesting.
Do anything.
Because, like you say, Sanity usually comes a pack. They usually come all as a group. And yet, for some reason, this time, it was just him by himself. And I don't know if they're trying to... I mean, ultimately, let's be honest. We all know where this is going to lead. At some point, and it will be Eric Young, not Eric Rowan. Eric Young versus Killian Dane. That is going to happen. But it's interesting to see just him by himself come out. Maybe they're trying to... that he is the tutor of Killian Dane. I don't know. But...
it was just weird. It was just weird because all the other ones, he normally just throws them and then kind of steps to the side. But he was in that corner, but you don't know.
I don't know. But it was a decent match, decent opener. Nothing incredible, but guys, and Killian Dane, he's, like I said, he's one of those people in that tier who could move up to the top at any point. Basically.
Yeah.
Super good. We have a backstage video of Itami arriving at Full Sail for his match. He looks good swag. We then see a vignette for what they were calling the Velveteen Dream, who is Rick Clark, who was on Tough Enough, the last series of Tough Enough. Seems to be honest, the only one from that series who's ever going to make it a contender later in the evening in the Women's Battle Royale. But Patrick Clark seems to be getting some sort of maneuvers, seems to be getting some sort of support from backstage. What do you think of this vignette? It was slightly weird.
I kind of wanted it to speed up, to be honest with you. It was just a very drag on, this is happening, okay. I've seen the guy wrestle. He's all right. I just think they give him stupid characters to deal with. That's the problem. Yeah. And this one looks like another one.
I remember I think his first gimmick that he was getting on the NXT house shows was basically a Donald Trump supporter. He used to come out in like trousers and everything, the full thing. And then he came out, and now he's doing this weird, he looks a bit like Jimi Hendrix. The band, and the big sort of fluffy shirts, like, and I'm kind of into it, but not massively. Like, I'm like, okay. Only like 20, I think now, which is ridiculous. And he's okay in the ring. He's not amazing, but he's all right.
Let's give him credit. He's good. He's not like up there. He's going to be a jobber. Let's be honest. Titles, like, unless it's a tag title.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't like that they pick on somebody and they're like, right, we want you to try this week and this week. Just stick to one.
Yeah.
Anything else? It's the same character.
Hopefully the fact he's now getting pushed like a whole vignette and everything, hopefully that means he's going to stay as that one character and actually. But I mean, it's going to take a while for him to get anywhere, just because the card is so stacked at this point in NXT. But
true,
he looks a bit like Jimi Hendrix. I don't know. He just does. I can't escape it. I keep seeing it in my head. I keep hearing Purple Haze as the it's all kicking off. Second match of the night versus Ricardo Watson, Hector Kunzman.
Yeah.
First representation of the jobbers.
Yeah.
Here, guys. We've made it. What do you think of Heavy Machinery, Tucker Knight and Otis Dozovic? What do you think of them?
I don't know about them, to be fair. I don't think I enjoyed that much at all. I thought it was just wham bam done, you know. Stakes, and that's it. That's the only thing I really enjoyed. Weights and stakes. I wanted that to be a chant for the whole time.
They were sort of describe it. They're both big lads. I can't remember which one of the commentators it said, but they said, "Oh, they're 650 pounds together, tag team in NXT history," and that Dozovic, who's the shorter, fatter one, is like 340 by himself. And you know, WWE love big fat guys. It's one of their favorite things. Vince is all about. And I don't know, when it first started coming out, I wasn't really into it. I just thought, okay, here's two guys who they didn't really know what to do with. Slap them in a tag team together. I quite like their packaging, Heavy Machinery, and one of them's called Dozovic, which sounds a bit like Bulldozer. Like, I don't know, I quite like it, but when they started talking after the match, I didn't expect Tucker Knight to sound like that. And then Dozovic was just like, had this incredible look on his face, stakes and stuff, and all this random crap.
Stakes and weights, stakes and weights. Get it right.
Sorry, stakes and weights. I apologize, Dozovic. Do not come for me. You're a scary man. I don't know. I'm willing to see where it goes, because that dude is entertaining as all hell. Like, Tucker Knight was standing there giving a sort of fairly decent promo, which was just screaming his head off, which I was kind of all about. I'm fine with it. It's dumb, but I'm into it.
Their finisher's weird. The finisher
that typical
that they
big
did
guy
was
finisher.
Weird. It was kind of like a piggyback slam.
Yeah, he sort of gets him up for a side slam, bounces off the ropes and, I guess, onto both of them.
Yeah, but he literally jumps on him. He jumped on him. Like, it wasn't like he didn't lay on him. He jumped on him. That's why it was kind of like a piggyback for me. He's like, all right, boom. Those poor lads.
Because
not even half their size was squashed.
I mean, we saw, like, what's his name? Tucker Knight does and I think it was an overhead double underhook belly to belly, I think is what it technically called. But the thing where he had his arms out, he grabs them both and then just lobs him over his head, essentially. Like, flip it, these guys are tiny compared to heavy machinery are big lads. And these lads were like, they were slender. They were slender, short men. And so
they were from the Lollipop Guild. That's where they were from, because they were tiny. They were small. Like, they literally were holding each other, and they weren't even like half of their size at one point.
Dozovic picks them both up at once, and it was like, it was almost like combined they weren't as thick as he was. It was shout out to the jobbers, I love it. But yeah, can you imagine squashed between his tag team partner and two of the other blokes? But can you imagine the guy on the bottom? He's got the other skinny bloke, and then 650 pounds coming straight down on top of you.
I gotta be honest. If it was me, I'd just switch around. I'd just turn it around so I was not at the bottom for that one, because that's gotta hurt.
Backstage, they're like doing rock paper scissors, trying to figure out who's going to be on the bottom, because you do not want to be on the bottom of that meat sandwich.
No.
It was a short, fun squash match. It was just them lobbing two dudes about. It was what it was.
A match there. They just beat them up, and then they talked about stakes and weights, and that was it. And the other guy was screaming and screaming and screaming, and that was it. But it was enjoyable, because you love that. You love a bit of passion with wrestlers.
Exactly, and it was it was just dumb. I like it. I don't like even down to the rules. Like the rules state that you can only be in the ring after you've tagged someone for 5 extra seconds. In that match, he came in. They both were destroying one guy for a while. Then the referee's just standing there like, "Oh, I can't stop them. They're too fat." And then he runs off, gets the other guy from the other team, lobs him in. Then they both lob him about for a bit. Like there was no rules there. It was literally just we've turned up, we've squashed quite literally 2 skinny dudes, and now we're gone again. It was fun.
No, but they weren't skinny as well. They were really small as well. They were short. They literally went at the back and went, "Who's short?" That's what happened.
Who's short? It's done in the same way. You're on. Yeah. Let's do it.
Get those red tights on. Look a bit like boom out there. I want to see Heavy Machines do this to what's it called? Authors of Pain. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. So after the match, as we said, Tucker Knight takes the mic and basically they speak about eating for a while. Their whole thing is basically they want to eat some food. It's basically their whole deal. And says that they've eaten all the appetizers, main course. They want the Authors of Pain. I can't imagine how the hell that match is going to go, but I want to see it. I want to see it.
I want it to be another ring explosion. I think they need to do that in NXT. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. The first one in NXT, I think it worked.
Boom.
Exactly. Like with all, you could do like a corner spot with all 4 guys and just utter annihilation. That would be fantastic. I do, although even though the second time they did the ring explosion, I wasn't into it because I'd already seen it. The third time I was into it because it's Braun Strowman, and also he got up after, which made it a bit different. If you get like, for example, 2 of the heavy machinery on the turnbuckle together or something, and then the Awful Pet go and do like the slam off it, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I want to see it. NXT do it. I'm excited now. I'm excited. And they finish with their catchphrase, "Let's eat," which I'm into. I'm into as a fat dude. I'm also into that.
Oh yeah.
With Bobby Roode speaking to Hideo Itami's opponent tonight, who is that comes back later in the show. And it's one of those things that NXT does, which WWE main roster doesn't. Storylines sort of intertwine and move around, and you get stuff which affects other things, which is always quite nice. Speaking of Takeover, which there were many of the show, where they were announcing one of Takeover Chicago's theme songs by Fozzy, Chris Jericho's band. Have you ever listened to Fozzy?
Yeah.
that's suitable response. Suitable response.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think wrestlers should sing. I've got to be honest. Wrestlers stick to wrestling. Singers
I don't know.
Stick to singing.
And "Sexy Boy" by Shawn Michaels is a good song. He's just a sexy boy. Can't deny.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I preferred Kurt's. You know, if you're gonna do it, Kurt did it right well.
You're right. If you're gonna do it, go strong. But let's be honest. Kurt Angle does everything right. That man is a wonderful human being.
True.
We then also get a backstage interview with DIY. They have a rematch for the tag team titles against Authors of Pain, and tells Heavy Machinery that a line for a match against AOP starts behind them. I do love.
They're a very good tag team. They are a very good tag team.
Yeah, they're. I don't know what's going to happen if they ever move up. Will they split up and go on to 205 Live as singles? I don't know what's going to happen. But they are very, very, very good.
I thought they were going to go up. I honestly, once they had that triple threat at Takeover, I honestly thought they were going up. I thought that was it. They were done. But
interesting that they didn't.
You know,
I'm excited to see what they do next. I guess they need an extra team in the NXT division just for a little while at least. Put Heavy Machinery and whoever else turns up, because I guess the Bollywood boys have taken their place in going up. Now they're doing their thing with Jinder.
The Singh boys or Singh brothers or whatever they're called.
The little Singh boys. I think it's the Singh brothers, which isn't actually even their name, but we'll move on. called something else, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere they were like, "Oh, the Singh brothers," and I'm like, "That's just an Indian name that you've done for marketing." But we'll move on. Match
To
number
be
3.
fair, it's better than Bollywood Boys, in my opinion. Better than Bollywood Boys.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Also, they're just Canadian. They're Canadian. Let's not lie about it. They're Canadian. Jinder Mahal's Canadian. You can't lie to me, WWE. I know your tricks. I know your trick. I have access to Wikipedia, WWE. You can't mess with me. Match number 3. Kona Reeves versus Reeves attacks Itami from behind. Nigel McGuinness notes that it was probably because Bobby Roode was telling him what to do beforehand. Dominate for basically most of the match. For a big chunk of the match, he's dominating, but he's doing that classic confidence thing where he's just screaming at his opponent instead of attacking them constantly. It's back, hesitation drop kick into the corner before GTS 3 win. What do you think?
I thought, other than the beginning bit, was ridiculous, because how can you tell somebody just, kick them down and push them in the corner? Because that's literally what happened.
Yeah.
And then GTS win. Anyway, I think props to him, because creator of it finally gets to do it in a WWE ring. Again, I don't know if he's championship material for me.
It's interesting. It's one of those. It's an interesting one because he was really close to getting a championship shot before Finn Balor. Right as NXT was starting to explode, championship picture between him and Balor, and Owens was champion and all that, and then he got injured the first time. It's interesting to see now him coming back after. It must be annoying for him because he's missed the entirety of peaks. He's missed all of them. And now he's back again. And a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are wondering, is he a champion? I mean, what do you think of Tommy? Where do you think his WWE career can sort of go? What is his trajectory?
See, I don't see him winning. Maybe Intercontinental one day, but at the moment, that's it. To be fair, Tyler Dillinger's in there now, and I don't see him ever winning a championship. I don't even know why they moved him up. He needed to be more worked on in NXT than anybody.
Yeah, Dillinger. Yeah, Dillinger. That's the thing. Dillinger was in flipping developmental for so long, but he needed to move up just for the sake of his career because he'd been there for so long. But it felt like there was nothing for him to move up to. Like, I remember being at flipping Takeover London and just losing my mind when he came out. Like, I love the guy, but you can't see it happening for him yet. Hopefully, I mean, for his own sake, it happens eventually down the line. 10 gets over so much that it happens. But you're right, Itami. I don't know where he's going. And he's really good.
He's really good. He's a very good wrestler. But they love to keep people that, and then they don't do anything with them. And then they move up, and it's just like, okay, or women's wrestler now, and leave you at that. It's funny because it's a white girl and a Japanese guy hanging out, because that's what we need. They always do. Tajiri and Tori. That's all I'm talking about.
Oh, Jerry. Oh, you left the company. I love Jerry. But like Vince and the people in charge of main roster don't know how to get Japanese wrestlers over unless they can speak English really well. And the thing is with Shinsuke Nakamura is he's just so flipping just charismatic and amazing that you can't help but love him. Whereas Hideo Itami doesn't quite have that charisma. It's like, this is a weird comparison, but it's like watching a Japanese film, and it's like Shinsuke is the main character, the main good guy, and Itami is like guy's employees. Like, he doesn't quite have that. He looks really cool, and when you watch him move in the ring,
he's more like the best friend. He's the best friend.
Yeah. Like, he
He's the
moves
best
really
friend.
cool in the ring.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that natural charisma, which could make him an instant success on the main roster, like Shinsuke has. So, where that's gonna go, we'll see. We'll see next week. We'll see. We'll get onto that after. But yet, for Drew McIntyre, who's a good lad, do love me some Drew. He's a big dude. I always forget how tall he is. And then I see him, and I'm like, flipping hell, you're really freaking tall. We then get part 2. Roderick Strong, which is this thing that they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it. Roderick Strong, he's again another guy who's really, really, really good in the ring. He bounces around like a pinball. It's great. He's not really good on mic, basically. And so I think he's been struggling to get over. And this feels like to try and get him over as a babyface, show us his family and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, it felt a little bit of Real World, kind of. Previously in Real World, I'm having a baby, but I'm a wrestler too, and you're just like, come on, you've got dreams. Every wrestler has a dream or a kid.
Yeah, it was a bit like the Ember Moon one they did a couple of weeks back, Takeover, when she's like walking around and the ring crew are like, can you move please, we need to tidy up, and she's like sitting in the middle of an empty arena going, I'm gonna win one day. It's like, I like things that are different, but try a different way, guys. That's not.
You know what? I think
they did put over.
I think personally, do you know what they should have done? When they said, who was he? And then they should have just cut movies. He did this. He saved a baby from a volcano. And just kept on doing stuff like that with him. That I would have enjoyed. I would have found that hilarious. But this was just so dragging on. He's having a baby. There's the baby. He's coming back to wrestle.
Pack IKEA furniture. Me and my wife, who's apparently in the UFC or something, we did it. We built some flat pack furniture. Get in there, lads. We got it. We got it done. I'm a baby face. I don't know. It sort of drags on, and if it means they do something with him, that's good. But it feels it's just long. It's just long and it's a waste of time. It's just long and it's a waste of time.
I'd rather have a match in the time that they took for that video. One match. That would have been happy. That would have made me happy. But that was just too long.
Exactly. You could have had a match. They did, however, for some reason put over Ring of Honor in that video, which I wasn't expecting. Sorry.
Videos. I don't know how they got away with that.
I mean, like, cause it's weird because they don't have a partnership with Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor have a partnership with New Japan. It's very clear that even the companies who have partnerships with Ring of Honor, like Rev Pro Wrestling in the UK, for example, are one of the few that don't have a partnership with WWE over here. So it seems to me they're already stealing Ring of Honor guys. I'm pissed off about it. So it seems weird that out of nowhere they start having all these videos from Ring of Honor, and he actively mentions their name a few times and talks about how pure wrestling flourishes there and all this other stuff. And it's like, I'm a bit, I love it. I just came a bit out of nowhere. We cut to a backstage segment with Regal and Rude in his office. Regal is like watching the Roddy Strong segment like intently, almost crying, basically. He's like, oh, that was, what a story. And Bobby Roode's just sitting there on his phone and goes, what? Oh yeah, it was great, whatever. Rude tries to convince Regal that Itami does not deserve a shot at the title. Regal kind of agrees and says, okay, then next week Itami will have to face Roderick Strong, which is what should have happened during the time we saw him building flat pack furniture, but we'll move on. He will face Roderick Strong, and then the winner of that, Bobby Roode, in the main event at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Roderick Strong comes in. They do a bit of a stare down. We all move on with our lives. Final match. A battle royale between the entirety of NXT's women's division to see who will face Asuka over Chicago. I tried to find a list. I could read them out. Couldn't be bothered to find it. so I haven't done it. The person who was in it was Candice LeRae, out of nowhere. Candice LeRae, if you don't know, is one of the, or for the people who don't know, I should say, is one of the basically top women's names on the independent US scene at the moment. She's massive. She's really over. They didn't in the ring properly. She was on camera, like about to get thrown over or whatever. They would refer to, and when she does eventually booted by Billie Kay over the rope, the crowd start booing. But Candice LeRae is heavily rumored to be a part of the women's tournament that's coming up later in the year. So it was awesome to see her because I like Candice LeRae. What did you think of this match in general?
It was what it was.
Yeah.
Each other over the top rope, which was really uncomfortable for a long period of time. You had the Peyton and what's her face, Billy. Peyton always looks like to me that she's wearing the Riddler's outfit from the 60s show. Do you know what I mean? The purple with the it's the Riddler's outfit. They just annoy me so much.
Because most people go for Poison Ivy, which makes sense, and she's even got some like flower imagery, so she's clearly going for Poison Ivy. 100% the Riddler. Don't even try to tell me it's not, because it's the Riddler. I expect her to come out with a big cane with a question mark thing on the top, and her to start being like, riddle me this, and start doing that, but she's not. She's like, I'm a flower, but it's not. You're the Riddler, mate. You're the Riddler.
Yeah. It kind of just, there was a big girl there for a minute, and then she got tippled over, and then everybody was it was so funny because some of them totally can't jump that top rope, so they were both kind of bouncing on the ropes just to get over to be eliminated.
Yeah, I always find Battle Royale a weird one because I love watching the Royal Rumble because it has this huge spectacle vibe. There's people, they enter in like as the match goes on. That's really exciting. But Battle Royales are really weird to me. Like it always feels to me like through the beginning bit, and then you get to the final couple of 5 or whatever, and then that's when the interesting stuff starts to happen. This was exactly the same. You had the main sort of 7 big name, the ones who have been doing all the matches recently, and then you had the rest of the NXT women's division, and Candice LeRae, and once they were all gone, then it started to get a bit more interesting. The final 3 ended up being Ember Moon, Ruby Riott, and Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross goes straight for Ruby Riott. Obviously, they've got a feud. They spent most of the match. I sort of caught my eye a few times. They spent most of the match feud, like fighting with each other. Nikki Cross goes straight for Ruby Riott. They start fighting. Ember almost at one point topples over. She ends up in basically the corner. She hits her finisher, the Eclipse, to Nikki Cross. Then Nikki Cross is basically dead. As they say, she's dead weight on the floor. She tries her best to sort of lift her up and over the ropes, and as she's doing it, Ruby Riott comes from behind. I'm going to flip you over the ropes now. Ember stops her, goes for the Eclipse on Ruby Riott, and as she does that, down into the ring, basically kills Ember Moon. She lobs her. She goes. I thought she was going to do, the corner spot as you go into it with your shoulder, except she went on the sort of second rope and then just went flying to the outside. Genuinely concerned she was going to die at one point. Here's the rest of the ring, screams, no one is ready for Asuka, and then drops and cuts out. Regal comes out and says, right, that's it. At TakeOver, Asuka, Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross, and Ember Moon. I'm excited for that. Feel like it feels, because Ember Moon, I don't know if you agree. Do you agree with me when I say Ember Moon seems to be the person who is definitely going to take the title away from Asuka?
Oh yeah,
because
no
even
doubt.
the end of their match, like I loved the end of their match at TakeOver when Asuka had to cheat to win, because it was like Ember Moon was climbing to do the Eclipse, and then Asuka was like, crap, and just sort of like panicked to cheat. She could, and I was like, oh my god, I got away with it. And that really, it made Asuka finally go full heel. She's sort of been flirting with it since she beat Bayley, really, but like she's been sort of flirting with it, and then that was her. She's like, right, I'm a bad guy now. she just seems like the person who's going to do it. And if this match, the Fatal 4-Way, feels a little bit like we don't want to pull that trigger yet. We want it to be in a singles match. So we need an excuse to sort of keep it going a little bit longer. And then probably what will happen, I assume, is Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott will take each other out, and then it'll be those two. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it, though.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
So am I. I think they picked. Well, as you say, so you've got the 4 women who have got a problem with 2 of the women. So you have Nikki and Ruby got issues. And Asuka got issues. Put them all together. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to do elimination or they're just going to do straight,
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Whoever pins win. I quite like Nikki Cross as well, just because she's got that kind of, like, it ended with her laughing at Amber, like, kind of broke outside the ring, and I found it hilarious.
She's really good because, like, she was like crawling along, and the ref was like trying to help her, and she was like, Asuka, like just saying the word Asuka, like Asuka was here, Asuka, and as she gets to the edge of the ring and she sees Ember Moon, she's just like, like, it's so. I think she's really good. She has she's over. She's just good. She's just. I like her a lot. She has that sort of. She's crazy, like the rest of Sanity, but it really works for her because the rest of the women's division is quite, or tends to be quite stale and boring in a lot of ways. And then you just have this just insane ticking time bomb that's just shaking in the middle of the ring. She's just like, go. And then she comes, like I say, when those 3 went down, she just went straight for Ruby Riott. And it makes sense and she works. And she's another UK person. There's so many UK people in this. I'm loving that. But yeah, and Ruby Riott was really over as well. When she came out, she got a big cheer from the crowd, which is good because I quite like her. I think she's meant to be a sort of normal every woman, I guess. Like way babyface, but she's sort of different and it works. And Asuka's just the best. You can't. She just is. She just is. I love her. But what did you think of the night overall? What did you think of the show overall?
I thought it wasn't a bad one. I don't think it's been great of late, but I think it's the settling down with people leaving and to do next. Yeah. Like, I thought it was all right. I don't think it was the best. You know, I've got to be honest with you. Out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6, and that's just because they just had too much filler for my liking.
Yeah.
Put an extra match in. Don't go off and show somebody's thing when a match is started as well. That's annoying. Like, concentrate on what you're doing.
Like when, like you said, we spoke about it before, like when the women's wrestlers were coming out, and to be fair, they skipped mostly jobbers. They skipped a few people, but mostly jobbers. But then they just cut to Aleister Black next week, and I'm like, Black, he's super cool. Like, I want to be that man. He is very, very cool. I mean, next week at this specific moment in time, like, I understand maybe on a developmental level they're trying to get the wrestlers used to working in a fashion where there are the ad breaks every 5-10 minutes as they are on American TV. So I get maybe that's why they do it. But there's so many adverts. Why does that DVD of the one where the dude's like, I want to be Jesus and Shawn Michaels is in it? Why do I keep seeing this advert? I don't need to see it as often as I do. I know it exists. I know that film exists, and I'm not going to see it. I know it's probably terrible.
I've seen it. It's terrible.
Shawn Michaels is a good dude. He's probably in a terrible film. I don't need to see that advert again.
He is in a terrible film. I've seen it. I only wanted to watch it because I want to see if his eyes are monkey in that too. Love the man to bits, but I just have to.
He's a great wrestler, but no, I'm not seeing your film. You can call your main character Gavin as much as you like. I'm not seeing the film. Yeah, I agree. They had this weird period after the what was it? The call-ups and the draft and all that. They've had this weird long period where they felt sort of empty and weird, and a lot of the shows have just felt like they're getting to get somewhere. I feel like the last couple of weeks they've slowly been getting better back to how they were. They're still not at that level because that level before was so high. But they've got a lot of fun things happening out, like Heavy Machinery. As much as they are just squashing jobbers at the moment, it's fun to watch. people like, say, Cassius Ohno, Drew McIntyre, people like that, Bobby Roode, who are really, really good and at top echelon, who can put on really good matches. The women's division, they're developing once more and again. It all seems to be getting slowly back to where it was. It's not there yet. Like you said, I'd probably give it 6.5 sort of thing out of 10, but they're getting there slowly, and I'm enjoying it again. I'm actively enjoying watching.
Well, I think that what NXT does best is tags and women. They do that better than anything I've seen. Fights are amazing, and the tag fights, I just find them really fascinating. Even finishers that I've never seen tags do before. You know?
Like that whole, I mean, DIY and Revivals matches are all going to go down as some of the best WWE tag matches. Also, like, they're just fantastic. Every single one of them. Even like, I was a bit worried when a point I was like, oh, Authors of Pain are a bit green. They're not, I don't know if they're ready. They didn't feel good. But then you watch it and you're just like, flip, it just keeps getting better and better. And you're right. You know, both of Heavy Machinery are supposedly amateur wrestler guys, and you know, they show good moves, but they're fun to watch. They do that really well, and a match with DIY and Authors of Pain and those matches coming up, I'm excited for. I'm excited to see what happens with the women's division, because Asuka's the best and all that other stuff, you know. And now they've got that echelon of top male stars. I think we're getting back to NXT at its best, which hopefully will be at TakeOver Chicago, which is in 2 weeks. But James, thank you so much for doing this. It's been a long time in the making. We're gonna do it every week from now on. Yeah, we're gonna do it every week from now on. It's been a long time in the making, but we're gonna nail it from now on. So come back. It's gonna be every Thursday. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/TG Jobbers. You can follow us on Facebook, The Glorified Jobbers, Instagram, The Glorified Jobbers. Make sure to subscribe. There is the subscribe orb here right now. If you click on that, you can subscribe.